Everybody, how you doing? EDGYTIM back down here in the dungeon, the basement, if you will. And great to be back with you talking today. Another recent commitment over this past Friday. Actually, Friday night kind of popped up out of nowhere. Gabe Hill, three-star ranked defensive tackle, Naperville North, class of 2026. Got to preface that now. I get so many damn kids committing earlier and earlier from all over, different class size, different classes and what have you. So definitely a 2026 three-star Gabe Hill, Naperville North, commits to Indiana. So again, go through what Indiana's getting in Gabe Hill and some background on Gabe's recruiting and get to know Gabe a little bit more. I've had a chance to see him multiple times live over the last 2-3 years, and Gabe has been a constant mainstay in the Huskies defense the last 3 seasons. So again, it's terrific player. So we'll get into it. We'll talk a little bit about Gabe Hill. As I mentioned, committed to Indiana and got the pleasure to know Gabe over the last year or two. Very low-key kid off the field. Intelligent kid, very good in the classroom. Great to talk to one-on-one. Otherwise, just kind of a quiet, humble kid. I really go on with him. And again, with that personality, sometimes, kids get kind of shy and clam up. That's one thing that I can definitely say that Gabe's a different player, a different person on the field than he is off the field. On the field, loud, plays big, just he flips that motor on the field, and then off the field it's like a completely different kid. So again, not really into the recruiting process. I think that's very fair for me to say that he did not enjoy recruiting. And again, because I think it's his personality. I think he's kind of more of a quiet kid. He doesn't like a ton of the attention. And if you're not into that, you're not going to enjoy the recruiting process, especially at the level Gabe was at. I mean, Gabe ended up committing to Indiana, had some really good offers from Power Fours, made multiple visits to Iowa, made multiple visits to Notre Dame. I know he had an LSU offer. He had some others that had come in as well. But give the Hoosiers credit. It just seemed like Indiana made a really good impression on him pretty early and stuck with him. And that's something we really hadn't seen a ton of in the last couple of years is Indiana recruiting the state of Illinois. There's been a couple. There's been a couple of portal guys, Illinois kids that have wound up in Indiana. But Dan Feeney's a guy that I'm thinking I know that committed a while back to Indiana, but there hasn't been a ton of real active recruiting going on here with the Indiana Hoosiers. So it's great to see. So what are they getting in Gabe? Gabe, 6'2", probably in the 290 range by now. Incredible strength, really hardworking kid, great work ethic, blue collar mentality. But what I think really separates him is his combination of speed, quickness, and power. Knows where the weight room is. Big time strength guy from very early on. And then again, he's one of those bigger inside defensive tackles that he's got some quickness and he's got some twitch, and he's strong enough to fight off a double team and quick enough to just get around a one-on-one block and can really just cause havoc inside. It's the kind of guy that I think will, at minimum, take up 2 blockers. At maximum, even as inside guy, he's got some pass rush ability, which I think really attracts people to Gabe. And Gabe physically, I still think Gabe's got more room to get a bit stronger, a bit bigger. And again, he's already probably 290, so obviously good sized kid. You don't want to lose that speed, and I don't think he will. He's been able to maintain things really well. Whether it's playing the run or whether it's getting a pass rush upfield. Just really good motor, play in and play out, get after it. Probably what stood out to me was when I saw him live against Loyola very early in the year. I thought he had a really good game against a very good Loyola offensive line and made some big plays and some big hits that I thought that was one of the key aspects. There were a couple others, but I think Gabe's play was one of the positives coming out of that from Naperville North, saying, "Hey, hey, we got," and Sean Darnell already knew what he had in Gabe, but hey, man, we got a dude here on the D line. There's no doubt, and was impact in that game that ended up going to Loyola, but it was a really tight game. I think tighter than most people thought it was going to be. So again, I would say that, he's a kid that probably a year or two to get used to and adjust to playing in Power 4. But again, with his game and his tools and his ability, and again, mentally as well, I mean, a really good student. I think he'll pick up Indiana's defense relatively quick, find his role, learn his role quick. Maybe he is a guy very early on that could challenge. Again, I'm the first to tell you, I don't know really squat about Indiana's roster, but I can't tell you that Gabe's game, I think, will translate very well in Indiana and very well in the Big Ten. And we'll see. Very interested to see how things work out for him once he gets to Indiana. But again, big fan of Gabe Hill. Obviously highly productive at the high school level. Again, I think he has that ability. He can continue that forward into college. And pretty good steal. Riles had him ranked. And again, this one's a little strange. I'm going to have to go back and do a little digging in. We have him ranked as a 5.7 3-star, which is kind of a mid 3-star. I think he's better than that. I think he's probably a high 3 to a low 4 when it's all said and done. I think Gabe will have a tremendous, tremendous senior year. So again, I'll be very interested to see some of that early tape as well as getting a chance to see him in person. Again, I think 3 or 4 times I've seen him over his career in a high school level. A pretty good knowledge level, a pretty good idea of who Gabe Hill is on the field, off the field. And again, I just really like what he brings to the table. I think he's a really good get. He's using that recruiting lingo crap, but it really is a good get for Indiana. So again, congrats to Gabe Hill and his family and everybody at Naperville North. Just tremendous young man. Really enjoyed covering Gabe, and I know Gabe probably won't miss talking to me. And Gabe, no offense taken whatsoever. Totally understand it. And again, just wish that young man the best of luck. So there you go. My thoughts. I take Gabe Hill committing to the Indiana Hoosiers. Thanks, everybody.